Hi there. Special Sunday night edition of Worldwide Ramblings. Got the pushback hair tonight. Good evening. Pam Donnelly was first to say hello. Hello, Jack and Karen. Miles Wright. Hi, Jack and everyone. Hello to Judy. Elaine Pearson from Washington. Hello, Jack and family. And Karen Phillips is here. Hi, Jack and all. And Sandra Fair is here. I think we had Jeanette earlier. Hi, Jack and friends. Tammy with an I as well. Hello, everyone. Already 8 watching that we know of and 2 likes, and that just jumped up to 13. Well, that's a pretty nice jump. Nothing unlucky about that number, if you even believe in luck. Do you believe in love? Do you believe in love? Oh, that was awful. Huey Lewis would slap me if he were here. And so our regular family here, which sustains us, and always nice when we have new people join us as well. We're not on too many Sunday nights, but last night, I wasn't even aware at first that President Trump was going to be attending and speaking at the correspondence dinner in Washington, D.C. at the Hilton Ballroom. And of course, that turned into quite a night, didn't it? Wow. Wow. I put up a post from Mark Simone today on my Facebook page, which some of you here liked. And from legendary New York talkman Mark Simone, who sometimes fills in for Sean Hannity when he's on vacation, showed a picture of Trump in his tuxedo and a scene where things were getting hairy in the ballroom. And then Mark Simone says, "I never want to hear a leftist say the White House doesn't need its own ballroom again." Oh, yeah, it does. Oh, yeah, it does. And I put in my own little quote at the beginning as I reposted what Mark put up. Best quote from the president: "They don't go after low impact presidents. They come after me because I'm a high impact, because I'm high impact." And here is the most simple truth you have to know. It's so plain as the nose on your face, as my mom used to say. Iran would use a nuclear weapon if they got one. We can't let that happen. So, no need right now to go into a lot of politics, but that's the truth. It's that simple. And it goes right over Tucker's head, and it goes over, of course, the progressives who stole the Democratic Party. Iran would absolutely use a nuclear weapon if they were allowed to have one. We can't let that happen. If you have grandchildren, or if you like walking around here in freedom and enjoying your life that God gave you, they can't have a nuclear weapon. Now, God could stop them from using it. He could. Sometimes he stops things and sometimes he doesn't, The end of our days, whether it be collectively or personally, is all in God's hands. It's all in God's hands. I get that. I understand that. But you don't let the evil empire, who is notorious for lying and being untrustworthy, you can't let them have a nuclear weapon. That's why all this was done. It's just that simple. And yet, allegedly brilliant minds can't get a hold of it. Well, I know one brilliant mind that can. That's Victor Davis Hanson. We'll play an excerpt from The Professor tonight. Some say that Victor Davis Hanson is simply one of the smartest men in the world. And we'll have some wisdom from Pastor Bob Joyce just from this morning. Just from this morning. Have an excerpt from that. And who knows what else will go on here. Bayou Girl joins us. Hello, Jack and family. Much love to all. Same to you. Jody Smith, evening. Talking to Elaine there. Um, I knew Neo would leave that other stream. It wasn't that good anyway, was it, Neo? Helen McDonald is here as well from Australia. And Neo is addicted now to telling us how many commercials or ads he's having. You know, the first comment is really important, Neo. Now, you should know this because you have a channel. So you want to give your best right at the beginning. And a repetitive count of how many ads you're getting is not really the best way to go. But we did use your thumbnail in the promo. Did you see it, Neo? Did you see that? Very nice. Very nice job he did there. The puppet sitting behind this very microphone. And how did Saturday go? You can tell us all about how things went Saturday at the, trying to remember exactly, Briarwood Mall, something like that. I think that might have been it, something like that. And so, yeah, Jody had the day off. That's good. I have a lot of days off these days, and it feels good. But there was a lot of times when I had to play these mind games in my head. Oh, I'll have off in a couple of days and have some fun then. That's a terrible way to live, right? Terrible way to have to do those mind games where you're, potentially sick of what you're doing, or it wasn't God's A plan for your life, but you weren't ready for God's A plan for your life, that kind of thing. Deborah McGinty is here. Hi, Jack. Well, hello, Deborah McGinty. Welcome to you to a special Sunday night worldwide ramblings. Boyd is here. Hello, Earthlings. I have actually opened up the show saying that. So I have used that. What show was most prone to saying Earthlings? I know they did on Lost in Space from time to time, which was one of my favorite shows when I was a kid, but I can still enjoy the work of the great cast of people they had, including Jonathan Harris as Dr. Smith, Bill Mumy as Will Robinson, Angela Cartwright. She lives in Austria now. She does, and she has the Angela Cartwright Studio, where she sells a whole lot of things from jewelry to her book. Of course, she's got a book, and she was doing a podcast. I'm not sure if she's still doing that. Her sister is Veronica Cartwright, and she comes stateside. She does, and she joins with Bill Mumy and appears at various fan conventions. They just had one in Parsippany, New Jersey. We went one year, but, just going with money that you can't afford to spend, and you could easily spend $1,000 there if you saw all your favorites. They got a lot of sea-level horror film stars there, and if you don't know them, you don't know them. But Peter Noon was there, who we have seen. He set up shop right after his concert right down the road here at the Paramount Theater. But he's got a new CD out with a former original Herman's Hermits. And he was one of the members of Herman's Hermits. I think it was the guy with the dark rimmed glasses. That's who it looks like now that he's an old man. It still looks like him. And they have done some kind of work together. And Peter originally was just going to sign that CD if you bought it, but then he signed everything. He's a nice chap for the most part. He has his limits, but, he's a nice chap. And he works so hard at 78 years old. Why he does that? Does he need to do that? I wouldn't think so. He has a home in Santa Barbara, but he's out there for, I don't know, 150 concerts or more a year. He is in small places and in big places. Now they're coming to the New Jersey PNC Bank Arena, I think. It's going to be hosted by Cousin Brucey, May 28th, I want to say, with Tommy James and the Shondells, Peter Noon, and then Tommy James and the Shondells, and it's sold out. 92-year-old cousin Brucey, my ex radio boss, sold out the PNC Arena with uh, Tommy James and Peter Noon. I thought that was great because it's quite a ways away and they sold it out. That's very nice. Sometimes they struggle, especially Peter in certain venues. You know, he struggles. The first time he came to the Paramount Theater, he was close to a sellout. Then he came back a little too soon, 9, 10 months later, because he liked the place and liked the response. And it was like maybe half empty at that point, you know, so that's just the way it goes. So, I like Sunday nights because my husband's at work. Oh, okay. Your husband's still working, huh? What kind of work does he do? Pam Donnelly. I can't promise a lot of Sunday nights, but we do it sometimes, you know. Sometimes. It's kind of the night you want to be. It gives me a 3 night stretch off to rejuvenate my creativity, whatever. And I like that. Of course, I'd have a 3 night stretch the other way. It would be Thursday, Friday, Saturday when you think about it. Something nice about Sunday night, though, and it's a precious night. You know, it's a precious night. Okay, guys, this isn't a typical subject, but I want to throw something out there at you and tell me what you think. Oh, this is getting mysterious. What do you think about a 21-year-old girl dating a 51-year-old man? A 50-year-old man. Well, the first question that comes to mind is this 50-year-old man, has he got the money? Has he got the money? Now, if she was dating an 81-year-old man, I would just say, well, she's real good at math. You know, she's real good at math. 50, be around for a while. So I don't know. I hope 50 is not considered the downhill slope. Of course, I'm 20 years past it, so what do I care? Jack Ringo Starr just released a new album. I'm not surprised. He's a very creative person, and I would give it a listen. The tracks will probably appear on Spotify, which, you know, right now I just have the free version of Spotify because I just wasn't using it enough. I'd like to use it a lot more. I'd like to use it in this show, but I can't. So, you know, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some good tracks on there. Right about now, the new Peter Frampton album is coming out, his first studio album in 16 years, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing some of those songs because you can still get free Spotify and they give you ads, of course, and I don't mind that because I don't use it enough. If I was doing a radio show via Spotify, I would, of course, have Spotify Premium, which I did for quite a while. So it's difficult, the subject about the 50-year-old man. Why do you think that? Why do you think she is drawn to him? I'd be curious about that. There are 21-year-old women that found that the men around her age are really boys. They're not very accomplished. They're hooked on their devices and, you know, don't seem to have much ambition, focus. Perhaps they can't get a sentence out without the F word in it. And so they find someone that's much different than that, or so they think, because you don't know until you marry someone and have been married for a little while what they're really like. Right, ladies? That's when you find out. And it can go the other way. And believe me, I understand that, guys. It can go the other way, too. So here he is, the Tennessee Titan, Todd Bradshaw. Had a very nice conversation with him Friday night. Hello, Jack. Good evening, all. Yeah, we just popped on here in the studio after I did a pre-recorded video. We popped on, and Todd came on then. I've already got people to thank in the Cash App, and I will do that very, very soon. Number of them are here right now. And That brings us up to 30 people watching right now. 30 people. Here's Tracy. Hello, Jack and everyone. Hi, Tracy. Good to have you aboard. Are you the one from Eastern Ohio? I always get confused. Love the robot in Lost in Space. Danger, danger, Will Robinson. Yeah, there was a real guy in there, but the voice was famous at the time, voiceover announcer. And it was really a tough job to do the voice of the robot because Jonathan Harris was given permission by Irwin Allen to change the dialogue. Jonathan Harris, Dr. Smith, said, I never fancied myself a writer, but I'm a wonderful rewriter. And so when Irwin Allen, a man he said had no sense of humor at all, well, apparently he did, he just didn't express it. When he saw that Jonathan was starting to stray from the script to make Dr. Smith more lovable and likable, he saw that it was getting a positive response. And so one day he banged on the trailer door of Jonathan Harris and said, I know what you're doing. More. And he just walked away. And Jonathan wasn't sure what he meant, how much leverage he had, you know? So he went to see Mr. Allen. He said, when you said more, did you really mean it? And Irwin Allen said, anything you want. So at that point, he started to rewrite the dialogue between him and the robot. He would literally keep a notepad by his bed, and he would wake up in the middle of the night and he would write things. Everything he said to the robot and everything the robot said to him, Jonathan Harris wrote. And that would often involve Bill Mumy, but that was as far as he could go. He couldn't change dialogue for Guy Williams or June Lockhart or whatever, but he would come up with all the the very complicated, witty things he would say to the robot. I mean, he came up with bubble-headed booby, which became like a catchphrase, of course, but he had some wonderful tirades with the robot. So the actor who did the voice would get this last-minute change to what he had already done. He would, in fact, at some point, I think he just said, well, there's no sense me doing this because he's going to rewrite it. You know, and then at the last minute, he would have to go into the voice studio, to the sound booth, and re-record the robot dialogue. So it was very clever, and Jonathan Harris was an incredible talent, as they all were, though. It's just unfortunate that Jonathan was the standout and kind of overshadowed the star, the former Zorro himself, Guy Williams. Loved it, though. And so there was this little guy inside there, and it was tough. A couple of times he almost passed out. He was sweating and what have you. And, but yet he was willing to do it. He fell over once. Oh, boy. Yeah, he had to go to the hospital. So anybody, two consenting adults, says Neo, it's up to them. Well, that's true, Neo, but there's a deeper way to look at it, Why do some people do the things that they do? But I don't want to bust on Neo here. Especially if Pam is related to the person who's 21, and you might have a different feeling if you're the parent, and if you get bad vibes from this person. I mean, all the middle-aged guys, and he's beyond middle age unless he's going to live to 100 like Dick Van Dyke. They all like the young stuff. Barnabas Collins didn't go after Dr. Julia Hoffman as much as she wanted him to. She loved him like nobody else, but he wanted somebody, sadly enough, that was young enough to be his daughter, starting with Josette Dupre, Maggie Evans, same person, and then Victoria Winters, and eventually Donna Wandry, who played talking about the girl with the short red hair, Roxanne. Roxanne, you don't have to put on the red light. Just find yourself a rich 50-year-old. That's what you do right there. Yeah, makes things a little easier. Go back down here. Lovely Rita Maid. Hi, Jack and everyone. Top of the evening to you, if it's evening where you are. I know it's afternoon where Helen is. Helen Wheels. Helen Wheels. Everything reminds me of a song. You're not related to the person. Does the guy have money? I'm just curious. What do you think was her reason for being attracted to him? Jack, age is just a number. Oh. But when the gap is so big between the two people, that's when it looks ridiculous. Well, yeah, I suppose. Sydney Sweeney is dating a 44-year-old guy, but he doesn't look it, right? Or did she leave the 44-year-old guy? I can't keep up with her. I can't keep up. I think that she is, if you were to ask her the thing that she hates having to do the most, it would be conceal her political views and have to say things like, I'm not really a political person. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. But not only does she have to worry about being canceled by progressive demons. Are they all demons? No. Not only does she have to worry about being canceled, there's the threat to her, there's the threat to her family. You know, I'm sure that she would like to just come out of the closet and into the streets, out of the closet and into the streets. But she literally has to fear that. One sad moment last night was seeing Erica Kirk walk out with her security that she has to have now, thanks to people like Candace Owens, just all in tears and just sobbing, because this reminded her, you know, hearing these gunshots reminded her so much of what happened to Charlie. I just want to go home. I just want to go home. Screw you, Candace Owens. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I hope she sues you for everything you got. Everything you got. I used to like you, and you're a malicious demon. You're no more Catholic than the man in the moon. Is there a man in the moon? I don't think so. I'll have to ask one of the people here. Who would be the best one to ask? I think I know. Is she here? So, sorry for the anger, but I hate to see someone destroyed, a widow destroyed like that by someone just trying to get hits on YouTube and make a ton of money. And Macron is suing Candace now, and I hope he gets a lot of money. Maybe she'll have to prove, though, she's not a man. I don't know. Not in a public court, though, right? I don't know. The guy has a great job working with the railroad. Oh, okay. With the railroad, is he the engineer? They have an interesting thing. They make a lot of money, but they can't collect Social Security, railroad engineers. I'm not sure about the rest of the crew. I would think they could, but the top paid people on the railroad cannot collect Social Security, but they get a heck of a pension. I'm talking about 75 grand a year for their pension. Mm-hmm. You know, you put in the whole 30 years, whatever. There's no 20 and out, I don't think. But I know this because I used to ride the train with Joe, who worked on Pastor John Torres's radio program. He was the tech guy, and I was Pastor John's announcer. And so he told me about that, you know. Pension, no Social Security when you are a locomotive engineer. Todd talking about you, girl. And so sad what Candace has become. What do you think changed her? Well, it's very addicting when you start well, she's the number one podcaster. I think she's on the way down now. I think she's turned a lot of people off, not as many as Tucker has turned off. But now she's starting to badmouth Trump too, because he suggested to Candace that um, he suggested to Erica that she sue. I thought she was already doing it, to be honest with you, um, because it's relentless and it's cruel. And since we all know that Candace worked for Turning Point and I guess was let go, and many people feel that she was in love with Charlie and she thought she would be Mrs. Charlie Kirk. So there's that. There's that. There's you got the negative things that happened with Turning Point, and Erica got maybe what she at one time wanted. Now she's married to a very nice, seemingly nice British gentleman, George Farmer, Candace. He convinced her to become a Roman Catholic, and she's not really presenting Catholicism very well at all. It's just a vindictive thing. And I love how people like her will say something that you probably are not going to agree with, that you find outrageous, and just say, right, right. No, it's not right. Nothing that you're doing is right anymore. Back in the day when you were on Tucker, when he was on Fox, you'd come on for 3-4 minutes. You'd make brilliant points. A lot of people loved you. He'd have her on like 2-3 times a week sometimes. And Tucker, under restraint, I think is better than Tucker now. I'm more sad about Tucker, but I've totally washed my hands of Candace Owens. I can't watch her. I can't watch her. So, but do you know what kind of money you make when you're the number one podcaster? You got 8 million subscribers. She's bigger than Joe Rogan in the sense internationally, but in America, Joe Rogan, I think, still pulls the most viewers. He pulls the most. So, because there's so many podcasts. I mean, there's dozens and dozens and thousands and hundreds and whatever. Everybody's got a podcast. This is not a podcast, by the way. People say to me they love my podcast. The podcast is slightly different. It's usually more frequent than what I do, and it is very narrow in the subjects that they cover, or in the case of Joe Rogan, it's not so narrow. It's not so narrow. He'll talk about anything. He likes to talk about aliens, conspiracy theories, and everything else. But a podcast is different from just doing a YouTube show, worldwide ramblings. My longtime partner was 17 years older than me. We had a wonderful life together. Sadly, he passed 3 years ago, but I have so many wonderful memories. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that, Helen, because I'm sure you think about him every day. And yeah, I mean, I think it's a maturity thing sometimes. I think young women see these boy men, and they say, I've got no future with him. He doesn't seem to have any moral fiber. He doesn't seem to have any ambitions. He's just going to work at a low rate for other people. And then he wants to go play video games. And they're not thrilled by that. She's not acting like Catholics. Yeah, I know you're a serious Catholic, Rita. She's not doing it at all, She's got the cross behind her. I know some people just become Catholic to marry someone. That is, they don't have it all in their heart. But I would think someone like Candace, since she loves to explore topics, would have looked at it seriously and could give you a pretty good explanation of why she switched to Catholicism. I'm sure she's done it. But then she said, "Well, if I'm going to come on and talk about that every day, I'll 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 never get anywhere." There are certain people like Raymond Arroyo that could, and there are certain um, priests that can. We all remember, I'm sure you remember, Rita, Father Karapi. When you have a standout Catholic speaker like Father Karapi was, um, he's going to get a lot of attention because there's a lot of priests that can't preach at all. They practically read their little homily. It's over in 6 minutes, and so when you have somebody that's really a good preacher, they go far pretty quick. That's why I was so sad to see the guy who's now a Fox News contributor. What's his name? Is it Morrison? Morris. He left because he found a woman that he just loved with all his heart, and he felt, after praying over it, that God could use him outside of the priesthood as well. But I think it would have been better if he could stay in the priesthood and be married, just like they allow um, priests in the Episcopalian Church in the UK when they come over here and want to switch to the Catholic religion. When they want to become Catholic priests, they don't have to divorce their wife, pretend they don't have kids. No, they're able to be married Catholic priest. I knew one quite well, Father Trevor. He lived right next door to us, and next door to that was the rectory, and next door to that was the church. The church bought him this house to live with his daughter, and well, his son was not always there, um, and his wife, and he had the British accent, and which always sounds better, right? And he was just a great priest. I did go to mass there, and I heard him give the homily. He came over when one of the kids' pets died and did a little service. Good guy, good guy. And, what I saw from the priests that weren't allowed to marry, as I saw right at the same church over the years, because we lived near St. John's Church for a while. I saw one that was a hardcore alcoholic and one that was molesting little boys and had a club called, excuse the expression, The Hole. Father Papala. He made the national news. Look him up. Father Papala. Papala? Is it P-I or P-A? No, I think it's an A. Father Papala, who did, 5, 6 years in jail, maybe 5 or 6 years in prison. How did we get off on this? We had some great priests here. Yeah, I had some great priests growing up or going up at St. Joseph's Church, and they're still embedded in my memory. Father Michael McCarthy at the top of the list, who was the priest who hated the color black. He only wore it when he had to. And the Monsignor, Father Pierce, Father John Pierce, I'm sure they tangled more than once because Father McCarthy joined the adult football league here in the city. He'd be playing football on Saturday morning. And then he'd have to rush over and be time for him to hear confessions. And he'd come down and he'd have his robe on and his collar and what have you. And you look down at the bottom of the robe and there were his blue jeans and his red loafers. But boy, I'll tell you, when it came time for the homily, and this is before lapel mics and what have you, he was going to leave the mic and he'd just walk right down off the altar and he'd start pacing the aisles and look right at the people. And my father, when he would see Father Pierce was going to be delivering the mass, would kind of groan and he would start to nod off during this sermon. Father Pierce had a scolding, sing-songy delivery. He would never leave the altar. He was old. He's buried right behind the chapel. Several of the nuns that taught me are buried right in the same general area in the 60s. And but Father McCarthy would go up and down the aisles, and he would love to talk to the kids and explain. Uh, he had a thing about talking about silly sins. I remember that. And I would look over at my father and he'd be hanging on to every word Father McCarthy said, you know. So yeah, yeah. And we had more than just him. There were a few, and there have been a few since. Someone who kind of looked like Father Pierce. Um, and then it turns out back in the 60s, he's old now and a incredible speaker, maybe the best speaker I've ever seen at St. Joseph's Church, where I went to school. But in the 60s, something happened with someone young, and it was coming to bite him in the later years, and eventually he had to leave. He was ready to retire anyway. Dan Bongino, or Dang Bongino, dang that Dan Bongino, has a great podcast that's highly rated. I guess you could call what he does a podcast. Yeah, I guess it qualifies. It's funny, people have brought this up. Sometimes Dan looks okay, normal. Other times he looks like he's going to snap at any moment. The eyes, it looks like he hasn't gotten sleep. And of course, he can get mad and he's prone to cursing and stuff like that, which he tries to hold back because he's a believer in Christ. But yeah, he knows his stuff, and he's a brilliant speaker. So is Russell Brand. Russell Brand has to go to the UK in October for a trial involving sexual allegations from so long ago. So keep Russell Brand in your prayers, because I think he wasn't a Christian then, and he's become a somewhat mature, a seasoned person of faith now, Russell Brand. And so pray that he doesn't end up in the pokey for a long time. Yes, sadly, there are creeps that become priests. I wonder why, though you'd want to do that, you know? I mean, go sell used cars, open up an adult bookstore, whatever. Why would you want to become a priest and maybe go after the altar boys? You can't even believe in God if you do that. Or at least, you are a baby Christian that's got a lot to learn, because it's of course the saddest chapter of the Catholic Church. David Brian Lawson, hi. Hi, Jack, from David Brian Lawson in Lexington, North Carolina. It's good to have you join us on a Sunday night here. Well, look, here's Carmen Sylvie, official from New Zealand. Yeah, I told you, we span different places like Cape Town, South Africa. Are you here? Pop toy of you, Jack. Oh, you see my, it doesn't really exist. One of the Brendas actually went to Barnes and Noble and tried to buy it. Yeah. But that was made by Polka Sean. Unfortunately, Google Photos took off the bottom half, which is the signia of the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned, and the cartoon creation that someone from Australia, who used to be the grand matriarch here of the channel of Worldwide Ramblings, that they cut that off, which is sad because they had room. See, they would have just took the time to bring it up. There was plenty of room to get that in. I probably could have cropped it better before I hit final print for Google Photos, I guess. The devil draws them in because he wants to destroy the church from within. I can't argue with that, Rita. Can't argue with that at all. Well, as I say, Elaine, I'd have to know that a lot of people, because you can't just order a few. They want you to order in bulk, and I'd have to be sure that a lot of people were going to purchase them, and why would they? Why would they? They don't come cheap in the making process. So then, you have to add on to that and what have you. I don't want it to think I'm more famous than I am. But the other thing we talked about, as soon as I can get my hands on it, I will mail you one if you give me your address of your secret underground bunker in a nondescript building in the state of Washington. Here's somebody new. Madeline. Is that not Madeline? It's last name is Ryder, like C.C. Ryder. So I'm saying Madeline. I hope so. Not all names are easy. I am not related to that person. What person? I have no idea what Neo's talking about there. I'm joining in midstream. So, Jody, age is just a number, but 16 will get you 20. Unless you're in Alabama, then all bets are off. I think you can marry at 14 in Alabama if you have parental consent. I think that's true. I think 16 is the age in Massachusetts. Here's Hobdob. Yeah, I guess that must have been a YouTube problem, Hobdob, with the are you the same as Heather Feather? I'm still not sure. But it was Heather Feather that told me, Jack, just look at the chat on your phone. There is a chat. Just look at it on your phone. Plain language, Neo. That's all I needed. Plain language. No talk about open up another browser. I still don't know what that means. That's just the way I am, Neo. It's just the way I am. Yeah, I think it's 17 in New York, Boyd, but it's definitely 18 in some states. I would guess Utah would be one of them, but I'm not sure. 18, but you can have 5 wives. I'm just kidding. That's only a sect of Mormonism now. It's only a sect of Mormonism, not a legal sect. So what they do is they have 5 wives, but only one is legal because that's all that can be legal. You don't watch those reality shows on Mormons who have many. One guy there, he looks like Sammy Hagar with his wives. I mean, he's not a bad-looking guy, but for goodness sakes, he's not Rob Lowe, So I don't know. But Mormons disavowed polygamy long ago. I have to say I disavow the Book of Mormon. I have to be clear on that. As much as I love Merle Osmond and I follow him, and Donnie Osmond too, and well, that's about it. Well, Marie, yeah, they're all wonderfully talented people. And my personal gut feeling is that God will know that they were spoon-fed this down their throat when they were knee-high to a grasshopper, and that they were blinded by some of the theology, because the Bible's clear. There can be no additional book of Revelation. Read the last few verses of the Bible. So I'm not going to say it is my feeling that Donnie Osmond, Marie Osmond, Jimmy Osmond, Merle Osmond are going to hell. I know that there's people, legalistic people that would say that, and of course they believe hell is the worst possible thing for everyone. And I think we could find scriptures that say there's degrees of punishment as well. Rita, do you believe in purgatory? Just threw that out there. So I'm just curious of what her motivations is, Pam. I'm trying to get inside her head. What led her to say, no, I don't want to marry the pretty boy that's 19 or 20 or 21. I find something in this gentleman that I know I'm not going to get with that youngin. Still tickets available, I believe, for Bob Joyce in Cabot, Arkansas. I always want to say Maine. I have to fight it every time. Cabot, Arkansas, May 22nd. May 22nd. Grab them before they are no more, Lenore. All right. Grab them before they are no more. And then there'll be another concert coming not too long after that, we'll be telling you about. So, Cabot, Maine will be great. And we'll promo that in a better way in a little bit when we go to the Bob Joyce website. Let's see here. Go back down. I don't have a bobblehead, Elaine. I don't. Oh, the bag? Oh, yeah, the bag. Sure, polygamy. Yeah, yeah. I didn't use the word polygamy. Yep. You better have a good job for that. You got that many wives. Because it tends to be that from what I've seen of the shows or whatever, that they're not going out and working high paying jobs, you know? What is Carmen saying? Pop heads are about $25. So this says pop on it. Sean never told me that he spent any money on it. Now you got me wondering. Polka Sean, that is. Let me see if he answered me, because he told me something as we were coming on here. I never associate there being a cost. I know he likes to experiment with free AI, so I assumed it was that. Here's Christina Wilburn. Peace and love, everybody, from Patrick and Christina. Yeah. Ringo's got a new album coming out, they say. I imagine the all-star band will be on tour because Ringo likes to work. He's into his 80s now and doesn't look it, thanks to, of course, hair dye and, you know, him keeping physically fit, etc. Yeah, the Mormon church threw out that doctrine years ago, but there are fringe, not approved by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints groups that do practice it. As I say, the way you get around it is you only marry one legally, you know? There was no legal marriage in biblical times. I mean, even on Dark Shadows, they didn't get it right. It's 1840, and they're talking about, well, she won't let me have a divorce and this stuff like that. So I had to kill her. Oh, dear. Well, that's quite a name there. And I'm not going to try. I see cooking in the middle. I see Mama Homestead. Hello from Maine. Good to see everyone. What part of Maine? Are you anywhere near Wells, Maine? We would love to visit Wells, Maine this summer, along with our usual Sanford and Kennebunk and Old Orchard Beach, and probably Portland as well. I'll just wear a bulletproof vest. That's not all of Portland, though. It's near Bangor, yeah. They talked about Bangor in Dark Shadows, which was in the fictitious town of Collinsport, Maine. They made it all up. But I have passed Bangor on the way back from Calais. This goes back to the second marriage. I have passed Bangor. Which didn't look too alluring from the highway, whatever highway I was on, didn't look too alluring. But boy, there are some beautiful places in Maine. Calais, Maine, Calais has a certain charm. Eastport has a certain charm, except when we were there a number of years ago, a lot of people had moved out, you know. I mean, they only had one little semi-supermarket there. It was between Calais and well, you go to Calais and then you'd head in a certain direction, like east, to go to Eastport. And on the way, you'd get to the Friendly restaurant, not Friendlies, but the Friendly restaurant, which I've said a number of times was fantastic. It was fantastic. I mean, everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about it, or at least they were then. Homemade food, you know. Spencer for Hire is here. Hi, TS. Hey, Jack. Love you and all. Joining late, but glad to be here. I'm glad you're here. You can, or you can't even get action figures made if you know the right people. Or you mean copyrighted action figures? It all depends with those if they're going to come after you or they're not. Disney was famous for coming after you at one time, but I don't know what they do anymore. I stopped caring about Disney a long time ago when they went woke. But I think they're trying to correct course. Correct course. They've lost because of these woke idiots. They've lost probably $1 billion or more. Probably $1 billion or more. Same with Target. Same with Target. They just don't learn. And if I hired somebody to be my CEO, and this has happened so many times, including with Mr. Igor, right, from Disney, and he lost $1 billion for me, he wouldn't be my CEO much longer. And I put it right in the contract. You nosedive this company, the contract is expired. You don't want those terms? You want me to sign you as a baseball pitcher at I don't know how many millions of dollars, some obscene amount, and you don't produce, and you end up out more than you're in? There's got to be an out clause. There's got to be an out clause. That's just not fair, because it ends up being paid for by the fans, who at some point get sick of it. But with Yankee fans, they're very resilient, even though the last World Series win was 2009, and a very special team that won it. So, as I've said before, if George Steinbrenner was alive, he would have made a dozen changes in the years that have preceded us. Yeah, if you create the characters or of yourself, I can see that. You just got to have a large fan base, to do something like that. I notice other creators have merch. Some of it sells and some of it doesn't. I know the Bold and Broke guy that I talk about here has merch. You can get his mug on a coffee mug. That's great. I hope he sells a lot of mugs because he's very talented and he deserves to. Same with Robert's Active Retirement. Gifted man. He tends only to do a video on Saturdays, or he releases, I should say, a video on Saturdays. And they're shorter than they used to be, but he's very good. He's very gifted. And I knew this was going to happen, would fall in love with Dr. Kevin Reese. I agree with some of what he says, and some of it I don't agree with at all. And other things I like. He has something now. You've probably seen it, Elaine, where he's talking about if you find a lump, the most important thing is to ask why you got the lump. Not really. Not really, because time is not on your side, and you have to find out what the best thing you can do. And believe me, it's just not eating natural foods and not touching soda, not touching coffee. I don't know. His list of not touch, don't eat, don't drink is so huge, you might find yourself with very little. Like maybe chicken and vegetables, like that's the Dr. Now diet. Chicken, vegetables. Some woman confessed to having a protein shake. He said, "Why are you doing that? You don't need a protein shake." Well, doctor, here's what you don't understand about this woman having a protein shake, whether it be chocolate, strawberry, caramel. It's not a bad sin to have one, and it makes her feel like she can cope. She's got that to sip and enjoy, and it helps her, Dr. Now, to he had his open house today in Houston, 2 to 5 p.m. Central Time. Yeah, he did. He had all his merch there. He's got lots of merch now, including a big doll of himself. Should be big. You pull a string and it gives you various motivational sayings that he does, you know. He could stand to lose a few pounds himself. But, you know, he was telling the woman that hadn't lost enough weight, you don't need a protein shake, but you do because it's a psychological thing. You know, wouldn't you rather she have a protein shake than go to the Cheesecake Factory to have some yodels or ding dongs, for goodness sake? It's a better choice, right? So don't expect her to be able to have nothing that will take care of this raging addiction that she's had for years. Dr. Berg is good. I have not heard of him or her. Dr. Pimple Popper is supposedly on the mend. She's still got problems with her left hand. And although as a surgeon, she uses her right hand, I think that could still be a problem. You know, I don't think I don't know if she's back to work yet. They had just started filming a new season of Dr. Pimple Popper. I can't think of her real name. I've heard it a few times. So it's not a memory lapse. It's just I've only heard it a few times. But she just finished, and you know, she was in denial like everybody else, and her parents are doctors, and they said she didn't go right away. They said you have got to get yourself to the emergency room, and that's when she found out that she had had a stroke, and she has ongoing issues with that now. Reese is good, but I don't agree with all of it. And he thinks he's hot. Well, he is hot. I'm saying that as a man. I can appreciate that Rob Lowe, Brad Pitt is hot. You know, I can appreciate that and say, I wish I had that gift they have. But some of his videos are really short. Some of them are longer. He has a book and what have you. He's not a medical doctor, as he constantly tells you. He has a PhD. So, everybody loves how he talks. I commented on that last time, Elaine. He's definitely got a killer delivery that works and captures your attention. It's just like certain British people, you know, if they got something to back it up, they could pretty much tell you that, well, I needed to kill a few people because it was just important. It was important to the country. It was important to my life. I had to extinguish them. And the way they say it, you'd say, gee, well, maybe they're right. I guess I could understand that. Yeah, he's got his are you saying your supplements or his? Because I know he has his own supplements. Let's see here. Let's go to the email because I have people to thank. And Elaine Peterson, no surprise there, is one of them. $10 on the Cash App. Thank you, Elaine Peterson, so much. And is this 37 minutes ago? Again, Todd? Oh, Todd. Todd is a very special dude who I hope to meet soon. I hope that works out what we talked about. Can't talk about it on air yet. Todd Bradshaw, for hope you had a great weekend, sir. Well, we did splurge a little bit yesterday. We did. We did go to the TR. We only go, it's usually twice a year. And the last time we went, Polka Sean paid the brunt of the bill for some reason. I try not to let him ever do that, but, you know, he does that. But we went to Texas Roadhouse at 10 minutes to 3 in the afternoon. They open early on Saturdays and Sundays. So we went at 10 minutes to 3, and we got a parking space. And we get in there, and there she is with her machine, and she's saying, "All right, I'll take your number. We don't have a table right now, but we'll send you a text as soon as there's a table." And other people are walking in ahead of you, and we're thinking they're going to get the last table. It's like going to CVS and you're starting to walk. Has anyone had this experience? You're starting to walk into the pharmacy and you see one or two people walking in fast, and they're going right to the pharmacy and they're going to have issues, and you almost want to run in front of them. And sure enough, you find yourself standing behind them, and they don't know why their card's not working. They can't understand why they're not getting the discount on that medication. The discount card isn't working. And then you just pray and hope that someone else from the back is going to come and open up a second register, because this person is going to take 10 or 15 minutes. And everywhere they go in their life, they do the same thing. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Thank you, Todd Bradshaw. You're a blessing and a half. What can I tell you? I got to go to another realm here, because there's Todd there from a few days ago, hitting the Cash App as well. Tammy with an I for the budget. Yeah, that's what we have here, a very small budget. The views this month, and it's not your fault, it's my fault, but also I'm trying not to hammer the Bob Joyce topic. When we have something, we have something. I'm not trying to fake you out if we don't. And I'm sure not here to tell half a story or report inaccuracies. I'm not here to waste your time with incoherent rambling. I'm not here to do it. Now you say, well, this is a different kind of show. This is not a pre-recorded video or a short talk. We're doing something where your comments are welcome, and we can talk about your favorite clam chowder, your favorite place to get pancakes, to get the best pancakes in the county, starring Nicolas Cage. You know about that. So thank you, Tammy with an I, for $25 for the budget. I appreciate that so much. Miss Susan Carter. This was from a day or two ago, for Have a Great Weekend. So probably on Friday, $15 from Susan Carter on the Cash App. And I know Nanette was in there somewhere as well, hitting the Cash App. So thank you very, very much. The other way is the thanks button down here for $2, $3, $5, whatever you can give. And you just press the ask button and then the thanks button, because the views are the worst they've been in a long time, probably a year, 2 years, but we didn't put out as many pre-recorded videos. I also, without going into detail, I took down a video series on a specific topic. You may notice that, you may not notice that. But not only was it not a faith builder in the reaction and some of the subsequent things, I mean, I didn't see Jesus in any of it. But I just felt that, but the whole thing was making me nauseous, so I took it down. And you may know what I'm talking about, and you may not. So thank you. I'll put that down here. Country fried steak or chicken is pretty good. Well, Todd, I had to have my usual, because when I go to a restaurant, I seem to, depending on what restaurant it is, I order the identical thing. I think I'm like Dustin Hoffman as Rain Man or something. And it's like when Karen starts a love for something, let's just put it this way, it's forever. There aren't too many days of the year you could not find a banana downstairs. The Suzanne Summers Organics. Oh, I love this peppermint cream. Oh, yes. Oh, put a little dab right here. Try to keep my neck from looking like something like a rooster would have, with I don't know. Put that right there. Mm, so nice. So nice. I know. Watch the fingers, right? um, Green-eyed lady is here? No, green lady. Well, there was a green lady on Lost in Space. So let me just write that in there. The Cash App handle. Hello, replay crowd. Appreciate if you could hit it as well. But I'm so grateful because although views is bringing in the lowest amount that I'm going to receive from Google in a long time, you guys are holding me up, and I appreciate that. Need more of you, but there is like a group of people that blow me away. Let's see here. So, Todd, yeah, I always get the exact same thing every time. There's that. And look at that, Tracy by the cufflinks. Thank you, Tracy Shetley, hitting the thanks button for $4.99. Thank you so much, Tracy. I appreciate that. I love the turquoise color and the chick that is drinking something. I don't know. I want to talk a little bit about last night. Oh, you're the green lady because you're the Hulk, the She-Hulk. You can catch Carmen Sylvia Official right here on YouTube, and you'll see her She-Hulk videos and her song videos and everything else. Absolutely. I tend to get medium well. Well, that's exactly what Karen got last night. And they know how to do it. See, when in many restaurants, if you say medium well, you're getting well done, buddy. They don't know. I don't know how they get it so perfect at Texas Roadhouse. But I got medium because I like it a little more juicy and what have you. Baked potato, their nice salad, and of course, those lovely buns with the cinnamon butter. Oh, it's to die for. It's to die for. Katina Swatsworth is here. Katina, we had 2 big glasses of water to go with our, she had the steak and the ribs, which is like an 6 or 8 ounce sirloin and ribs. And I had the 11-ounce sirloin. And I won't tell you what else. Hi, Jack and family. I'm in the chat, but can't see anything, really. Then we'll have to call you Katina Feliciano. Katina Feliciano. I wonder why that is. Well, last week, look what happened. I couldn't see the chat, and you could. And then Heather Feather said, look at your phone, which is just the kind of language somebody like me needs. Oh, my goodness. We're staying with the beautiful turquoise, which was the color of my house at 170 Commonwealth Avenue in the town of Walkill when we moved back from Montreal, Canada. And bad things happened in Montreal, Canada. And some good things too, you know. It was only 6 months that I lived there, but I liked it more than disliked it. But it set me on a bad course. That's for sure. $5. Thank you so much. That really helps get the total up because we're running out of month here. We've got one more live show in the month of April on Wednesday, if all goes well. And then Thursday's the last day of the month. And here comes the beautiful month of May. I've actually got the fan on back there because it is warmer. It says 47. That doesn't, I don't know. I'm looking to see. It's going down into the low 40s tonight. So that's not too bad, you know. Should I heat up the pad for the kitties? I did last night, and of course, fed them. It was Josette Dupre and Mama, and before you know it, Nicholas Blair came along, and of course, Millicent, who's shy and timid, and I have to try to find ways to make sure she gets some, you know? And then now we've got the black and white cat we call Barnabas coming, but he's really timid, so he's not going to come up. Uh, they saw him spraying in the neighbor's yard next door, so they knew he was a boy. And I've never seen a cat spray in my life, but then again, I ain't looking. I ain't looking. Oh, is he spraying? What's it look like? Not like that, right? Oh dear. It was a hot. It was hot here today in eastern Tennessee. Now, Todd, are you? What direction of Tennessee are you in? Northeast, west, or south? Because Todd, I have again. Inside joke. No more bread for me. You can resist the buns at Texas Roadhouse because you're a better man than me, Rita, if you can. In fact, you're not a man at all, are you? My meals are dull, but I blew it today at the bakery. Oh, yeah, we got a few nice bakeries in this city and had a delicious apricot Neapolitan Bavarian pastry. Well, that's a mouthful, and I bet it was. You like the exotic stuff, huh? It's what Karen does. She comes in with this weird stuff, and whereas I'm if I go in there, it's black and white cookie, chocolate eclair, or eclair, I guess is the proper way to say it, marble cookie, pineapple buns. Oh, she'll go for the almond horn. Oh, the cinnamon raisin buns are good. The cheese buns, the best bran muffin anywhere that I've ever tasted in my life. And, you feel like, well, that's not too bad to have. And you can just have half of it. So if you're in love with a beautiful woman, you watch your friends. Watch your friends. Watch your friends. But if you're in love with a beautiful woman and you're having a big bran muffin like this is, that's not, some of them look so good in that supermarket and they're dry as toast. Those people are dry as toast, says Gus. Remember that? The late great Michael Constantine from Room 222. Who remembers Room 222? I never really watched it much, but I saw Michael Constantine on it, and I saw the lovely Karen Valentine. Yeah. But if you're really in love with your lady, guys, and you're sharing this big, beautiful bran muffin with raisins in it, if I forgot to mention, you're going to give her the top, not the bottom. Huh? I mean, normally you're used to the top, but you got to give her the top and you have the bottom. Yes. There are places that just have muffin tops. What do they do with the bottom? What do they do? Do they give it to the homeless shelter or something? I hope they don't throw it out. What is going on? So thank you, Tracy, very much for hitting the thanks button for $4.99, and thank you, Sandra Fair, for $5. All in turquoise tonight. I'd like to see more turquoise. Just a little more turquoise, please. Sell them for $50. I don't think so, Elaine Peterson. I don't think so. That would be a tough draw, They look black, don't they? Don't the eyes look kind of black? I think it's dark blue. My eyes are obviously blue. So I'm not sure. David says, yeah. Hi, David. What's going on with you, David? Let's hear from you. Let's hear from Karen Phillips. Are you still here, Karen Phillips? I I came up with the idea that Karen Phillips was not really Karen Phillips, but she was somebody else. And she never responded. I'm on the east side of the state. Oh, you're on the east side, eh? I see. You're in the high rises. Are you close to Central Park on the east side? We're moving on up to the east side to a deluxe apartment in the sky. Remember that? I know you do. I know you do. There is no Texas Roadhouse here. I've been waiting or walking 45 minutes at Baker's Lake. Tomorrow, 2 hours. That's wonderful, Rita. That's the way to do it, huh? Yeah, you're out there. That's good. What's a touch? At touch a truck. But a lot of big vehicles are there, and they have loud horns that hurt your ears. I'm still here watching. Cool. So, what state do you live in, Karen Phillips? Um, is it anywhere near? Is it anywhere near the state where Pee Wee Herman got on top of the bar and danced to tequila? Is that anywhere near that? Ah. Ah, yes, that deluxe apartment in the sky. Yes. Good stuff. Good stuff. Love the Jeffersons. Spinoff, of course, of All in the Family. We finally got a piece of the pie. Exactly. Fond memories from my youth. Fond memories. So was Good Times, right in the same genre, with Jimmy J.J. Walker and Esther Roll. Is that how you say it? And what was John Amos, right? I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Yeah. So it was a gorgeous day in West Tennessee in the mid 80s. But tomorrow I head to Chicago and the cold. Oh, I'm curious about your reason for going to Chicago. Watch out. They have a lousy mayor and a lousy governor. Jackie Organ is here from Australia. Hi, Jackie Organ. Those were the days, All in the Family. Fantastic show. Fantastic. Fantastic. Wow. It always amazes me how fast the time goes. So Pastor Bob Joyce, just an excerpt from today's sermon. Pastor Bob Joyce, living in dangerous times. I can't see your comments when I'm on this page, but keep doing it. Pastor Bob Joyce, living in dangerous times, the April 26th sermon. I love Pastor Bob. What can I tell you? He's the real thing, and is reaching a whole lot of people. And I can't imagine anybody that wouldn't get that, that would say that they were a born again Christian. I can't imagine how anybody wouldn't get that. And don't touch my anointed. Don't touch my anointed. Some people need to look up what the term devotional actually means. So let's listen to a little bit. Oh, I better put the mic over here. You hear it better, right? Pastor Bob Joyce from just this morning. Just this morning.
We are walking in this world in the promises of God. Hallelujah. When you walk in the door to this church and you come to greet everyone, and we shake hands and hug necks and say, how do you do? How do you do? You doing all right? Yeah, I'm doing all right. You doing all right? Yeah, I'm doing all right. Like we mimic one another, As you walk in on the sure and unmovable and everlasting promise of God. Everywhere you go, you should lift up your head and think about what God has promised to you. And there is where you stand. That is where you live. The devil wants to shake you away from that place. And everything in this world is designed to take you away. But stand fast in the Lord. He gives you the strength. He gives you the spirit. It's not dead, it's still alive. Hallelujah. It's like they say about the old pioneer spirit, still alive, you know. But the Spirit of Christ is still alive in the hearts of everyone who believeth and trusts in him. That is where we stand. That is where we live. Therefore, everything I do, everything that I want to do, everything that I claim to do, everything that I make an effort to do in life is from that place where I stand. If it takes me away from where I stand, I ain't going to go there. If something is there for me to do and it causes me to turn away or walk away or stand some other place, I don't want to go there. I want to stay right where I am. Because that's where it's at, man. That's where the glory is. That's where the peace resides.
Pastor Bob Joyce from just this morning from Living in Dangerous Times. So you want to hear the whole sermon. You want to see the whole sermon to see him expound on that theme, living in dangerous times. I wonder if last night's events inspired the title or if he already had it before he preached today. I'd be curious about that. Pastor Bob Joyce will have a charity concert on Friday evening, May 22nd, 2026, to benefit ABC-FM Arkansas Baptist Children and Family Ministries at the First Baptist Church of Cabot, Arkansas. More details and ticket purchases can be found in the Facebook post at ABC-FM Benefit Concert with Pastor Bob Joyce. So that's a new link. And you can just click on it right here on bobjoyce.org. ABC-FM Benefit Concert with Pastor Bob Joyce. Click on that at bobjoyce.org and see the tickets, the general admission tickets, which is all that's available, is, your seat is first come, first served, okay? So ticket sales, April 23rd, update. Ticket sales have moved from the DonorBox.org link. All tickets purchased before April 23rd through DonorBox are still good for the concert. Tickets purchased from April 23rd through May 22nd will be processed through givecloud.co. Givecloud.co. Watch for scammers, folks. There's people selling tickets and they're fake, fake, fake. All right. So keep that in mind. Back to the live stream there. And Jackie talking to Todd Bradshaw. Yeah, well, it just came out, so you're excused, Katina. I know that you've got your hands full often, and only you know what that feels like. I mean, I don't know what it feels like. So, and I guess sometimes, what do I want to say here? Um, no, nothing is coming to mind that I want to put on the air. Nope, nope, nope. It's nothing bad. It just, it's private. And I don't want to do it. Just looking back here. Yeah. So there's 45 watching right now. It's really a family here and a core family for the live shows. It's nice when we do a pre-recorded video and it gets a lot of views, but that's not happening as much right now. I think we'll have some special moments this summer. So keep watching. Just sit right there and wait for them, will you? Jack, some specials, sometimes, Jack, some specials, sometimes that's all you need is the core family here. Yeah, yeah, because there are, and you're one of them, people that help us keep the lights on and what have you, and we need more of those people, but still, um, yeah, absolutely. For so many years, because the channel is over 10 years old now, I didn't have any of this. So, just to go over last night as briefly as I can. It's not a political show, um, but certainly do need that ballroom, which will be possibly fast tracked now a little bit with 4-inch bulletproof glass in it. And the reporters will be nice and safe. Um, we tuned into the live stream on YouTube at 7 o'clock. That's when I started thinking about, was it 7 o'clock or even before that at 6 something? And there was Jimmy Fallon, who had no idea. He thought he was just taping segments when someone came by, that he would bring them to camera, and then he would become the professional Jimmy Fallon and do an interview, trying to be funny, of course, as he always does, but within broadcast professionalism. And he would talk to Secretary of State Rubio, Secretary Bergman, Bill O'Reilly at one point, and Brett Baer, and his lovely wife. And it turns out that that was supposed to all be edited into a Jimmy Fallon on the red carpet special later, I guess after the show. He was just taping segments and they would put it all together and get it ready for air. But he had no idea that they were filming, that there was a camera filming the stream that was covering everything. So he'd put down he'd do the interview, the short interview with somebody. Johnny, Johnny from Jesse Waters, Johnny Barasario, was close to him. And he didn't understand that we could hear this private chatter that was going on. Everything that came out of his mouth was going out to the world on YouTube. And unfortunately, there was a lot of F-bombs and a lot of loose talk, mostly from Jimmy Fallon, not so much from Johnny at all. So that was weird. And you just kept waiting for the moment where someone would tell him, they're hearing you. It's not just a private there was some talk, and even Hannity didn't make it clear to him, and Hannity should have made it clear to him because he was watching from home and in Florida, that everything you say is being heard. So when you say that, oh, that Carrie Lake was looking smoking hot. I think Jimmy is married. When you say that, everybody's hearing you say, you know, and other things. So I never heard him. I was waiting for that realization. Oh my God, they're hearing everything I'm saying. Never assume a mic that you're holding isn't hot, especially when you don't have a lever and a control, when you're not the one controlling that. Don't do that. But in this technological age, no producer got word. Tell Jimmy he's being heard with everything he says, and to cool it, nothing. I can't figure that out for the life of me. So, but those interviews only got seen in that stream because obviously the festivities were interrupted early on, well before the president was going to speak, and there was going to be a mentalist. Reminds me of Kreskin. A mentalist can be okay, I guess. Kreskin never appeared to me to be, coming against, not a medium, in any way. It was all trickery that Kreskin did. I saw him live in Chautauqua at the Chautauqua Arts Center, whatever it was called, when I was DJing up in Western New York. He was fantastic. And he's still around. He's very old, but he's still around. And then the president was going to speak, and I think that he was going to decide to be fairly easy on people, but joking nevertheless. I thought it would maybe be the most awkward thing you'd seen in a long time, and we won't know. And then it's like when all that happens with the lone shooter in the lobby. I mean, didn't they know? This guy just checked in the night before, and there was no Secret Service there to say, well, sir, you have to understand, if you're going to check in here, we've got to check your bags thoroughly and what have you, and your person, because the president's coming here tomorrow night, and that's just the way it is. They should have known what was going on in every room of that floor. Every room needs to be checked to make sure there's no weapons. They could have been building a bomb, maybe one floor up from the president, who knows? And assembling a bomb is what I'm saying. And so that was a mistake. You just can't take anything for granted. Thank God no one was really hurt, including the Secret Service agent that got shot. The vest worked, and that's wonderful. And the 1 minute the shooter was dead. He was alive. He was dead. He was alive. He was dead. I couldn't keep up after a while, but he's very much alive. And did they shoot and miss every time? I don't know. There were a lot of those questions hanging up in the air, but as I said in the Facebook post today, I quoted the president. Those presidents that are low impact and really don't do anything, certainly nothing good. Some did a whole lot, but it was all terrible. We know who that was. They don't get shot at. There's no attempt on their lives. But when someone comes in that's high impact, and as I said, he brought it down, and as he spoke, because they had that thrown together press conference in the press room of the White House later in the evening, after they decided to cancel the event. He said he brought it down to just the simple facts that goes over Tucker's head and everybody else. If Iran were to get a nuclear weapon, they would use it. Now, so far, North Korea that has one, we don't hear anything about him. You notice that? Is that not weird? You don't hear much coming out of North Korea, and he was the rocket man. I don't know how that is, that we're not hearing threats anymore from, and all the begging, if we don't get another $20 million that the Ukrainian president Zelensky was saying, if we don't get another 20 billion, we can't hang on. And Biden would say, all right, we'll give you another 20 or $1 billion or whatever it was. We don't hear any of that anymore. And yet, it's still going on. Um, we hear very little about the Ukraine and the Russia conflict these days. It's amazing how little news gets on. One or two stories like today, all you heard on Fox News was a repeat of last night's details. Basically, that's all you heard. Yeah, we haven't heard from the Rocket Man. Rocket Man. They thought Elton John would. Some liberal interviewer was leading Elton John, saying, "Well, I know you don't support the president, but not his politics. So what did you think about him using the title of one of your songs, which, of course, he didn't write the words, Rocket Man. He wrote the music. Donald Trump using that. I thought it was hilarious. He tried to nail him. What do you think about Donald Trump? He says, Donald and I have been friends for years. He's very supportive. He's been to many of my concerts. Very supportive. Yeah, he shot him down, and I thought that was good. Well, if you have hay fever, just get rid of the hay, Jackie. That's all you have to do. Just get away from the hay. So how did your Saturday show go, Neo? Your puppet show at the mall. How did it go? Have been sore and hurting today after puppeteering yesterday. Yeah. Then Neo would just blurt out something out of the blue, like, I liked Karnak on Johnny Carson. All the questions have been phonetically sealed and put in a mayonnaise jar on Funkin' Wagnall's porch. We'll pray you feel better soon, Todd. Yeah, Todd was telling me that he's, he was doing the one leg routine there. I don't want to say, I don't know. I wound up in the ER with high fever. Oh, it caused a high fever too. You didn't tell me that. We're trying to figure out what's causing it. That scares you, right? When you get flushed and then you take your temperature and it's high. So you still have it? Don't go to work if you got a high fever. No. Well, that's scary. Doing better, thanks. I have been one-legged all week. I'm walking again slowly. So all is good. Acute gout. Okay, yeah, that's what you said. Acute gout. Is that like in your big toe mostly or what? It can be crippling. So yeah, at Texas Roadhouse, I always get the same thing. I remembered I didn't finish that. 11-ounce medium cooked steak with mushrooms and onions, baked potato with the butter. They gave us 4 nice buns, so we didn't need to ask for more. In fact, we even brought one home for Andy because he got the leftovers. And Karen got the sirloin and ribs. And 2 lovely glasses of water. Tina, hold your ears here. And 1 big frozen goblet that was delish. And then probably won't have another one for 3 or 4 months, There's no Summerfest with Jimmy Stir this year. And it's just as well because it would have conflicted, and that's all I can say. I wouldn't have been at Summerfest, I don't think, this year. But Onion Fest in September, I don't want to rush that, though, because I want to slowly enjoy every day of the spring and every day of the summer. So please subscribe and like and hit the notification bell. If you can hit the thanks button for any amount, click on ask and then the thanks button down at the bottom. I'd appreciate that. And if you have a few dollars for the Cash App, a great way to go as well. Media Guy 56, lowercase Media Guy 56. So let's hear a little bit of Victor Davis Hanson right now, one of the most brilliant men on the planet. He talks about he can't he's shocked about Tucker and Candace because he was on Tucker a lot, and he doesn't understand what Tucker has kind of turned into. He makes points, though, brilliant points about it, but still, I think he's shocked about it happening, and it's not good for Tucker's career. When you come against Big Daddy, huh? When you come against Big Daddy, you're blowing up your own life, and you don't even know it. But Tucker should know it. He should know it. So, this may be called let's see, they turned on Trump and Israel. Why now, says Victor Davis Hanson. So just let's play a fair use excerpt from his program. His channel, his platform is called The Daily Signal. To me, he's one of the smartest guys on the planet. Victor Davis Hanson, senior fellow at 2 universities? My goodness.
When you talk to people and you say there's 600 million Arabs in the Middle East and 10.5 million Jews are the most powerful nation in the whole region, then they have to come up with a reason why that is. Why is that? Well, it's the United States did that. All the Jews made the United States do that, as if Israel didn't have anything to do with it. And you say, well, Oman or Saudi Arabia's got more money than Israel, and they're bigger, and why aren't they the powerhouse? Well, I don't know. Well, they're occupying Gaza. They're occupying well, Turkey's occupying 20% of Cyprus since 1973. Are you worried about that? Well, I didn't know that. So why is it always Israel?
Joining me today is Victor Davis Hanson, historian, best-selling author, and senior fellow at the Hoover Institution at Stanford University. He spent decades studying how wars begin and how they reshape the world. Professor Hanson, right now, tensions with Iran are escalating, but at the same time, major voices on the right, like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and Megyn Kelly, are turning on Trump and even questioning Israel's role. Some are saying this is necessary, others say it's a serious mistake. So let me ask you very simply, why are some of Trump's biggest supporters suddenly turning on him and on Israel over this war?
It's an interesting question because they're on record, I would say, supporting 90% of his agenda, whether it's open, the closing of the border. So in this particular issue, they've not only focused on it, but they have made it the exemplar or the turning point of everything. In other words, if he doesn't agree with him on this one particular issue, then they nullify all of their lifetime conservative advocacies. So you're right to ask why it seems inexplicable. I mean, if he had, let's say, I don't know, if he had said, well, I don't want to get into the transgender mess, I'll just let that go, would they have done the same? I don't think so. So ostensibly, I have to examine what they say, not what I say. They say that he ran on an end to forever wars, or what he called endless wars, or what they call for. But that was defined by the 20-year misadventure in Afghanistan, the 8-year problems in Iraq. And the closest we have seen up until this war, I mean, it was a one-day one-off on Soleimani, on Baghdadi. It was about 3 weeks bombing ISIS. Maduro was one day, 26 hours going in during the 12-day war to take out the nuclear facilities in June of 2025. So this is now 6 weeks, 7 weeks maybe. We're getting about 52 days. There's been, tragically, but 13 soldiers lost. We have no ground troops in there. The Israelis have deployed probably 300 aircraft. And I don't understand how this can qualify as a forever war, especially we've never seen a war, in my experience, so asymmetrical. And I think what they're doing is they're confusing the survival of the regime for now with victory, because they feel, well, why don't you take it out? But there's a contradiction there, a paradox is we don't want to fight this war. And I don't think you do either, in the way that we fought in Fallujah or we fought in Helmand province. We don't want to get on the ground and go house to house and give them the advantage and fight their jihadist type of war. It's sometimes unavoidable.
All right. So, didn't want to lose that. The channel is called Stand Tall Israel on YouTube here. You can find it. That you can see all of that interview, and I'm sure there's a lot more to hear from Victor Davis Hanson being interviewed. It wasn't the Daily Signal, but it was Stand Tall Israel is the channel here on YouTube. Find it, subscribe, and give that interview a view, because they deserve it. Very, very good. All right. 47 years, they say, Neo, 47 years Iran has been up to their shenanigans, and it's the one country most likely to use a nuclear weapon, first to wipe out Israel and then to start going for the US of A. Of course, if they go to Israel first, we would probably have to wipe them out as they were doing that. But anyway, they're the ones that, the people say about Texas, we don't just have the death penalty in Texas. This is Ron White I'm quoting. We use it. Now, this may surprise you, but I'm not pro-death penalty. I say God is in control. He'll take care of it. It's up to him. And a whole life in prison is no walk in the park. It's no lover's kiss. It's no lover's kiss. So there you go. So that's Victor Davis Hanson. So Todd is saying his foot, ankle, lower leg, pretty widespread. So not just the big toe, right? It's a lot more than that, huh? And we got to send prayers your way for that fever as well. All that passed, thankfully. I looked like E.T. washed down the creek. Oh, dear. Just looking back at some past comments. So, yeah. Yeah, well, I can tell that there are people here that not here that normally would be. I know you're going to have a certain amount of that, but it's always concerning. There are people that just want Bob Joyce content. They may say, "Oh, I'm here for everything," but stop doing as much Bob Joyce content, and you say, "Oh, where did they go?" That kind of thing. But they may watch the replay. Hello, replay audience. Appreciate you so much. Thank you for watching. I hope you've subscribed. Please like and hit the notification bell. 49 watching now and 29 likes. They got the count back where, well, maybe that's where it always was. Other things have moved around a little bit. So this afternoon, late this afternoon, well, we were out in the gazebo for a while, but it was, it was 60 degrees and a little wind blowing, so we didn't stay out there too long. Did a little exercising up and down the stairs, at least. At least I got that much in. And Karen was going to cook some baked raviolis for dinner. and we watched a 1957 movie with John Beale, who was in Dark Shadows in 1970 into 1971, playing a judge in the 1840 parallel time. And their concept of what a vampire wasn't quite what it would be in Dark Shadows or in modern times. It was more like he's turning into the Incredible Hulk, but they couldn't have been inspired by that, I don't think, because in 1970 they hadn't done the Incredible Hulk yet, right? Or was that already a comic book? Neo would know. I would not know. Yeah, please keep Todd in your prayers. Love, Victor Davis Hanson says, Tammy with an I, me too. Very, very smart man. So I think that's about what I got for this Sunday night, special Sunday night version of Worldwide Ramblings. We'll be back on Wednesday night. I know the dishes are stacked high and the kiddies are going to want to eat. And I'm going to try not to eat. Hunger is building, though. Hunger is building. How many of you have from America have the enhanced driver's license? How many of you here have the enhanced driver's license? You need it to fly, but I guess if you don't have it, they still let you fly, but they charge you an extra $45 and put you through the slowest process they can. You're on the slow line then. Make sure you show up early or you'll miss your flight for sure. I guess they're getting paid now one way or another, but I don't know if the ICE agents are and what have you. It's a mess. It's just an absolute mess in the climate now, the political climate. Proverbs in the NIV, part of Proverbs 13. A wise man heeds his father's instruction, but a mother does not listen. But a mocker does not listen to rebuke. From the fruit of his lips, a man enjoys good things, but the unfaithful have a craving for violence. He who guards his lips guards his life, but he who speaks rashly will come to ruin. The sluggard craves and gets nothing. And we could add today, so they try to rob from the rich so they can have the same thing they have without earning it. The sluggard craves and gets nothing, but the desires of the diligent are fully satisfied. The righteous hate what is fake or what is false, but the wicked brings shame and disgrace. Righteousness guards the man of integrity, but wickedness overcomes the sinner, overthrows the sinner. These glasses are not as good as they used to be. One man pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, but has great wealth. A man's riches may ransom his life, but a poor man hears no threat. The light of the righteous shines brightly, but the lamp of the wicked is snuffed out. From Proverbs 13. So we'll be praying for Todd this week and praying for Chris Starry, Carolyn Mullins, who has issues, needs a healing. I got a busy May coming up with lots of things going on, lots of appointments, and Karen has her appointments as well, and a few other things that we're going to be doing. Well, thank you, Jody Smith. Appreciate that. And if you're talking about the Word of God, of course, I have nothing to do with that. Here's Carolyn Mullins right now talking to Elaine. I see her there. Passport may cost more than that DL, but it's a good domestic and international. I've never traveled that way, No money in the bank for that. Yeah, if you have a passport, you don't need the enhanced license, I guess. But there's no money in the budget to indicate I would need a passport. No, I don't really like flying. I don't like the hours that it's never convenient, and you got to be there hours before. If I'm going to fly at 7 a.m., then there's no sense in me trying to get any sleep the night before. It won't work. Pray for Brenda Sweeney, who's got issues, the rotator cuff. Feel free to speak your needs here. Good night. I love you so. Hope everybody has a good night's rest. Thank you, Christina Wilburn. Night, Neil. Hope the C64 build is going steady and well. Huh. Things that make you go, Tucker Carlson. Huh. Yeah, you are at the tail end tonight, Carolyn Mullins, but please watch the replay if you can, or some of it. These things do help my watch time hours because we go for 2 hours often, it seems. Sometimes not quite that, but when we're in the studio, we go for a long time. How is Karen feeling these days? Asks Sandra. Well, it's up and down. She does have issues. Some I can't talk about. She has been pretty vocal about, she had the rods put in her near her neck and what have you, and it's sometimes uncomfortable. She has arthritis in the lower back, and she's going to Dr. Damicella. When is that? That's coming up soon. Is that tomorrow? I don't think so. I think it's early in May. And for pain shots, so she's getting that. Head hurts again today, says Neo. I'm sorry. What do you think's causing that? Always get things checked out. You may need a CT scan. America will soon be 250 years old. That's right. Good night, everyone, says Katina. Have a great week. God bless you, and prayers to everyone. I can't fly because of the nerve damage. I will pray for everyone as I do every day. Thank you, Rita. God bless you. Love you all. So to Wednesday night, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Take care of yourself. Try to get some exercise in. Try to avoid those terrible foods. And, that's why I was pro protein shake, because people need flavor in their life. They need some flavor. Pray here in America, especially for our president. I think that the Lord has it in hand. The Lord has it in hand, obviously. Look how close we came to losing him in Butler, Pennsylvania. So till then, my name is Jack Willard. A big God bless you. Good night, everybody.